fluid dynamics, as much a mysterious subject in real life as it is in Foxhole. Even though facilities and liquid pipe systems have been with us for quite a while, there is much that still seems unknown about. If we read up on it on our favorite fountain of knowledge, the Foxhole wiki, we learn 3 things about the mechanics. Only one type of fluid can flow in a pipe network at a time. Pipes have a maximum fluid flow of 50 liters per second. In a pipe, liquid gets split evenly between all outlets of a pipe, so every next pipe has half the amount of fluid in it. This is fairly rudimentary information and does not cover all things involved in the fluid mechanics. So, time to hit the dev branch, trick a Crowd9er into helping us here and there, and start testing. Before we do anything else though, there is a rumor that needs quick testing. Several facility people are claiming that the flow rate of underground pipes is lower than the flow rate of normal and overhead pipes. To check if this is true, we just built a quick setup of 2 liquid transfer stations, where the in and outputs of both are connected. One pair of in and output with a normal pipe, and one in and output pair with an underground pipe. We make sure everything is clean and empty. Then, both Crowd9er and I, at the same time, will submit 15 jerry cans of diesel into the different LTSs. With both LTSs pumping out diesel at the same rate, logic dictates that if the underground pipe's transport rate is slower, eventually one of the LTSs should have more diesel in its stockpile than the other. After the system has run for over 2 hours, there is still no difference in the stockpiles of either LTS, suggesting that the pipes transport at the same rate. Next, we'll check if the length of a pipe makes a difference in flow rate. Another simple setup. One LTS, then a pipe, and then a silo. Submit 50 cans of diesel, 50 times 100 liters is 5,000 liters, and see how long it takes for a setup with a short pipe to empty out the LTS and fill the silo, and how long it takes with a long pipe. It turns out it is 5 minutes and 33 seconds for the small pipe and 5 minutes and 35 seconds for the long pipe. The tiny difference of 2 seconds can easily be chalked up to a measuring issue or a little desync between client and server, leaving us to, carefully and temporarily, conclude that the length of a pipe makes no difference. To get some baseline numbers, we first test the flow rate of the different fluids: water, petrol, oil, heavy oil, and enriched oil. Diesel was tested differently, we will get back to that later. For the flow rate, we test 2 different scenarios, LTS to LTS and LTS to silo. To avoid any other factor influencing the results, we make sure the length of a pipe between the 2 containers is the same in all scenarios. With the silo having a maximum capacity of 5,000 liters, we use the same amount of fluids for both the LTS to LTS test and the LTS to silo test, 5,000 liters. In the case of water, petrol, and oil, that is a simple full fluid container, where 100 cans will count up to 5,000 liters. In the case of heavy and enriched oils, there's a little kink. Since both come in 30-liter cans, we cannot get to a round 5,000 liters. So here we use one full container, 100 cans for 3,000 liters, and one partially filled container with 66 cans for 1,980 liters, tallying up to 4,980 liters total. We will start measuring time the first frame the liquids are visible in the stockpile of the LTS. We will stop the time when the last drop exits the pipe connecting to the silo. Both these methods have some inaccuracies, so we do not expect to have a frame-accurate time, and the measured result might be off by about 1 to 2 seconds in either direction. Running these tests results in the following numbers. It takes 5,000 liters of water 5 minutes and 33 seconds to flow from an LTS to a silo, and only 1 minute and 39 seconds to flow from an LTS to an LTS. 5,000 liters of petrol will flow from an LTS to a silo in 5 minutes and 31 seconds, and only 1 minute and 40 seconds from LTS to LTS. It will take 5,000 liters of oil 5 minutes and 37 seconds to flow from an LTS to a silo, and only 1 minute and 38 seconds from an LTS to an LTS. For 4,980 liters of heavy oil, it takes 6 minutes and 46 seconds to flow from an LTS to a silo, and 2 minutes and 46 seconds to flow from an LTS to an LTS. And finally, it takes 4,980 liters of enriched oil 6 minutes and 47 seconds to flow from an LTS into a silo, and 2 minutes and 45 seconds to flow from an LTS to LTS. Some quick maths gives us an average flow rate of 15 liters per second for the 50-liter cans from an LTS to a silo. For LTS to LTS, the average flow rate of 50-liter cans is 50 liters per second. And an average flow rate of a little over 12 liters per second for the 30-liter cans from an LTS to a silo. For LTS to LTS, the average flow rate of 30-liter cans is 30 liters per second. Circling back to the diesel we did not test yet, the pipe length tests from earlier already gave us a flow rate for diesel from LTS to silo of 5000 divided by 333 is 15 liters per second. This is the same as the 50-liter cans of water, petrol and oil. For the LTS to LTS test, we built a new setup with a slightly different pipe length, still assuming the pipe length does not matter, and because setting up tests is harder during live wars. We submit 50 cans of diesel, 50 times 100 is 5000 liters, into the LTS and see that it takes 49 seconds to fully exit the LTS. 5000 liters in 49 seconds is a rounded flow rate of 100 liters per second. In other words, the theoretical maximum flow rate in a pipe is not 50 liters per second, but 100 liters per second. So far, we've only measured flow rates in relation to liquid transfer stations and silos, and found that the inflow rate of silos and liquid transfer stations differ significantly, where the LTS has a very high inflow rate and the silo doesn't. But what about facility buildings themselves? Their outflow rate is determined by the amount, type, and timing of orders set in them, which is a very hard thing to test. Maybe we'll do those some other time. Probably not. Their inflow rate, however, is easier to test. For this, we set up an LTS and a facility connected with a pipe, and test different facilities for the different fluids. For petrol, we use a materials factory with a forge upgrade. For water, we use an oil refinery with a reformer upgrade. For oil, we use the same oil refinery with reformer upgrade. For enriched oil, we use a metalworks factory with an engineering station upgrade. And finally, for heavy oil, we use the same metalworks factory with the engineering station upgrade. Once again, the petrol, water, and oil are simple submissions of 100 cans times 50 liters is 5000 liters. And the enriched oil and heavy oil are combined submissions of 166 cans for a total of 166 times 30 liters is 4980 liters. The tests result in the following data. 5000 liter of petrol flows into a facility in 3 minutes and 44 seconds, as do water and oil. Both clock in at 3 minutes and 44 seconds as well. 4,980 liters of enriched oil flows into a facility in 4 minutes and 33 seconds, and 4,980 liters of heavy oil take 4 minutes and 32 seconds. This gives a maximum inflow rate for petrol, water and oil of at least 5000 divided by 224 is approximately 22 liters per second, and a maximum inflow rate for heavy and enriched oil of at least 4980 divided by 273 is approximately 18 liters per second. The actual maximum is slightly higher since in this test we measured the time it takes a single batch of 5000 or 4980 liters to go from an LTS into a facility, and we waited till the last drop left the pipe before ending the timer. A continuous flow that kept on going would not suffer the time penalty caused by the final halving of fluid in the pipe until nothing is left. That is a very long sentence. Now, we'll try to determine the effects of longer pipelines. To test this, we simply put a different amount of pipes between an LTS and a silo, submit 50 cans of diesel into the LTS, and measure how long it takes for the 50,000 liters of diesel to end up in the silo. 7 different setups ranging from 7 pipe lengths down to 1 pipe length result in the following data. 5000 liter of diesel flowing through 7 pipes takes 27 minutes and 56 seconds to reach the silo. 5000 liter of diesel flowing through 6 pipes take 24 minutes and 39 seconds. 5000 liters of diesel flowing through 5 pipes take 19 minutes and 30 seconds. 5000 liter of diesel flowing through 4 pipes take 15 minutes and 38 seconds. 5,000 liters of diesel flowing through 3 pipes take 11 minutes and 47 seconds. 5,000 liters of diesel flowing through 2 pipes take 8 minutes and 27 seconds. And finally, 5,000 liters of diesel flowing through 1 pipe take 5 minutes and 33 seconds. To test the fluid flow in large pipelines into facilities, we test 3 different lengths: 4 pipes, 3 pipes, and 2 pipes, and use 2 different liquids: oil, 50 liters per can, and heavy oil, 30 liters per can. The tests result in the following data. 5,000 liter of oil takes 13 minutes and 52 seconds to flow through 4 pipes into a facility. 4,980 liters of heavy oil take 14 minutes and 25 seconds to flow through 4 pipes into a facility. 5,000 liters of oil take 10 minutes and 28 seconds to flow through 3 pipes into a facility. 4,980 liters of heavy oil take 11 minutes and 3 seconds to flow through 3 pipes into a facility. 5,000 liters of oil takes 7 minutes and 32 seconds to flow through 2 pipes into a facility. 4,980 liters of heavy oil takes 7 minutes and 33 seconds to flow through 2 pipes into a facility. From previous testing, we also know that 5,000 liters of oil takes 3 minutes and 44 seconds to flow through 1 pipe into a facility. And 4,980 liters of heavy oil take 4 minutes and 33 seconds to flow through 1 pipe into a facility. Plotting these data, we see that the time to transport a set volume of liquids from one receptacle to another increases linearly with the amount of pipes. Looking at the flow rate, we see that there seems to be an exponential decay. The more pipes we add, the lower the flow rate, but the decrease in flow rate levels off. Using the forecast function, we can expand these numbers speculatively to see where we roughly end up. For a pipeline of 15 pipes, that will be at a flow rate of around 1.4 liters per second, and for one of 20 pipes, it will be around 1.1 liters per second. With these results in mind, let's look at ways of increasing the flow rate of pipe networks. First, let's add silos in between pipes at different intervals to see how that impacts the flow rate. Using an LTS as our starting point once again, we build a pipe network of 3 pipes, 1 silo, another 3 pipes, and end with a silo again. After submitting 50 cans of diesel into the LTS, it takes 16 minutes and 8 seconds to flow all the way to the silo on the other end. We build another pipe network of an LTS, 2 pipes, a silo, 2 pipes, a silo, 2 pipes, and end with a silo. Submit 50 cans of diesel into the LTS and now measure only 12 minutes and 46 seconds before all the diesel ends up in the silo on the end. Finally, we build a pipe network starting with an LTS and then have a row of alternating pipes and silos for a total of 6 pipes and 6 silos. Sending 5,000 liters of diesel through this network only took 9 minutes and 26 seconds. To speed things up even more, we can use LTSs. So we set up a pipe network starting with an LTS as usual, then have 3 pipes, an LTS, 3 pipes, and end as usual with a silo. After submitting 5,000 liters of diesel into this pipe network, it takes 11 minutes and 56 seconds to reach the silo. Then we set up a pipe network starting with an LTS, followed by 2 pipes, an LTS, 2 pipes, an LTS, another 2 pipes, and end with a silo as usual. Submit 5,000 liters of diesel into the starting LTS and measure 8 minutes and 25 seconds before it all ends up in the last silo. Then, finally, I would like to have built a network with alternating pipes and LTSs, but, contrary to popular belief, I do have a life outside Foxhole, so I decided to do something silly instead, like touch grass. Looking at the flow rate data for this, we see that having either a silo or an LTS in between pipes will increase the flow rate significantly, where LTSs clearly have a big advantage over all other setups, as a setup with an LTS that has 3 pipes on either side even outperforms a setup with 2 pipes, 1 silo, 2 pipes, 1 silo, and then 2 pipes. We repeat the same test setups, but with facilities as endpoint instead of the silo, and use oil, 50 liters per can, and heavy oil, 30 liters per can, instead of diesel. This results in the following flow rates. 5,000 liters of oil flowing through a silo with 3 pipes on either side will take 13 minutes and 37 seconds to fill the facility. 4,980 liters of oil flowing through the same setup takes 14 minutes to fill the facility. 5,000 liters of oil flowing through 2 pipes, 1 silo, 2 pipes, 1 silo. 1 eternity later. And 80 liters of heavy oil is what 5,000 liters of oil going through 2 pipes, and LTS, 2 pipes, and LTS, 2 pipes, and then into a facility will take 7 minutes and 33 seconds. 4,980 liters of heavy oil going through the same setup takes 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Here we can see that the results for the same setups, but run with different liquids, have roughly the same flow rate, indicating that fluid type doesn't matter, but that it's mostly the type of endpoint that determines overall flow rate. To quickly check if refilling a facility with a liquid container and a refuel button is faster than refueling it through pipes, we bring a fuel container full of oil to a oil refinery, open its inventory, and click the refuel button. We measure the time it takes between the message, refueling from liquid container, to pop up, until the hose between the container and facility disappears. Refueling the facility's internal oil tank this way takes 8 minutes and 32 seconds. Bringing 2 fuel containers, one with 100 cans of heavy oil and one with 66 cans of heavy oil, we repeat the same test, doing our best to start the second batch of refueling as quickly as possible after the first container is emptied. Refueling the facility's internal heavy oil tank this way takes 8 minutes and 34 seconds, with a difference of 2 seconds between both tests indicating that my reaction time isn't that bad for an old man. Comparing these results to refueling a facility through a pipe clearly shows that the pipes outpace the refueling. And then, drumroll please, pipe splitting. This is the most straightforward part of the system. Pipes split their current contents evenly between all available connections. Each pipe has a maximum amount of 4 connections, each end of a pipe and in the middle on either side. An LTS input connection will accept liquids but not send them back, acting as an endpoint. An LTS output connection will output liquids but not receive them. A silo's input connection will accept fluids but not send them back, acting as a backflow stop. A silo's output connection will output liquids but not receive them. A facility's input accepts fluid but does not send them back, acting as an endpoint. So, if we connect a single pipe to the output connector of an LTS and have our trusty Kraut9er submit a single can of diesel, it will fill the entire pipe since the pipe has no other connections and the pipe itself has a connection of 100 liters. If we rebuild the setup and connect a pipe at the end connector of the first pipe and have Kraut9er submit a can of diesel, we see that at first we get less than 50 liters in the last pipe and eventually settle at 50 liters, with the other 50 liters in the first pipe. Resetting this and connecting a second pipe in the middle instead of the end gives the same result, each pipe being filled to half capacity, 50 liters. Another rebuild, this time with 2 pipes connected to the middle pipe, and we see that our fluid settles in a 3-way split at about 33 liters in each. We rebuild again, this time with 3 connected pipes, 2 in the middle and 1 at the end connector, and we see the same pattern emerging, but this time settling on 100 divided by 4 is 25 liters, or a quarter of the capacity per pipe. Now, these are obviously static systems where the liquids don't end in anything useful. To test that, we build setups with LTSs and split pipes. We'll start with a 3-way split from the starting LTS. 1 LTS at the end of the pipe and 2 pipes splitting off at the middle, each with their own LTS as endpoint. We submit 100 cans of diesel in the starting LTS, and when all the diesel has flowed through the system, we see a nice equal split of 100 divided by 3 is nothing, and 100, and nothing again. So it appears the LTS at the end of the starting pipe sucked all the liquids away before it was able to split into the split pipes. We can probably prevent this by giving the middle LTS its own connected pipe. So the setup is as follows. We'll start with an LTS and a pipe connected to the output connector. We then connect 3 pipes to each remaining connector, 2 splitting in the middle and 1 at the end, and have those pipes connect to the input connector of their own LTS. Submitting 99 cans of diesel and having them all flow through the system will result in a nice 3-way split, resulting in all 3 LTSs having 99 divided by 3 is 48 cans? And 31 cans? And 20 cans? Something clearly went wrong. Again, let's build another test setup with a guaranteed equal split. 1 LTS with a pipe connected to its output, then 2 pipes connected to the middle of that pipe, each with their own LTS as an endpoint, making sure the pipes are equal length. We submit 100 cans of diesel into the starting LTS, let all the diesel flow through the system, and see a nice equal split of our diesel of 100 divided by 2 is 39? A nice equal split of 39 and 60? Somehow. Alright, no panic necessary. We'll rethink the equal split. Approach from the other end and build a setup with 1 long pipe that connects at each end to the input of an LTS. We then connect our starting LTS with a pipe to the middle of the long pipe. This way the diesel ends up in the long pipe without splitting and only splits towards both LTSs. We submit 100 cans of diesel into the system, wait for them all to flow through, and finally see an equal split of 100 divided by 2 is 0 and 99. Are you serious? Alright, forget LTSs. Let's use silos and pray that that works well. Once again, for our test setups, we will start with an LTS. Connected to the output connector is a single pipe. We split the pipe in the middle to both sides with pipes of equal length and have both those pipes end in a silo. Since the maximum volume in a silo is 5,000 liters, we submit only 50 cans of diesel into the system. We wait for all the diesel to flow through and then build 2 LTSs to collect the diesel from both silos so we can see what the results are. With both silos emptied out, we can see that our 50 cans of diesel split nicely into 50 divided by 2 is 24 and 25 cans. Excellent. To test a 3-way split, we use the same setup, but add a silo to the end of the main pipe. Submit 99 cans of diesel into the system and let them all flow through. Build 3 extra LTSs to empty the silos out, and we can see that our 99 cans of diesel split nicely into 99 divided by 3 is 33. Oh, and 30. And 35 for some reason? Just when I thought I managed to salvage the last remnants of my sanity. It's here, after running tests for 7 days, collecting 60 gigabytes of footage spread over 140 videos, going through footage for data extraction for 2 weeks, and trying to write a coherent script for another 2, that I will do something I have never done before. I admit defeat. I give up. Throw the towel. Surrender. Submit. Concede. Succumb. So, if you ask me, is the fluid pipe system in Foxhole broken? I will answer plainly. No. But I am. Roll credits. Fucking hell! Oh my fucking god. Never again. Never again. As per usual, I owe a big thank you to Crowd9er, without whose help and encouragement I would have never even attempted to figure this system out. Would have kept my sanity, and would probably have done something actually productive with the time spent on this instead. Also a big thank you to you, the viewer, for sticking with this video for so long and seeing it through to the end. It is much appreciated.